It does, yeah. Wow. Hello, everybody.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry for the late start, but Nigel and, is it Pat, is it? They say that they're ready to go, so if everyone's happy, we'll press on. I just want to give you a quick intro about myself. I'm comparing the stage today. I write my own food blog, Eat and Be, www.eatandbe.co.uk, and I sort of focus on local food, locally produced food, locally sourced food. I'm based in Taunton. But today we've got, as I say, Nigel and Pat here, and my understanding is that you guys won the last Great Burnham Bake Off.
We
Is
did,
that right?
we did. Well, we won the family section, I think it was, for our lemon drizzle snizzle cake.
Okay.
And
your father and son, is that right?
we are, yeah.
Excellent. Have you been baking long?
Yeah, a few years.
Okay.
A few years. I can go into that in a minute.
Yeah.
No.
But today I understand that you're going to be cooking sourdough.
Today it's all about the sourdough,
Okay.
Yeah, no cake today.
Excellent. Okay, so whenever you're ready, guys, crack
Okay.
on. And
Great, yeah,
I'll
check
ask
out
you a
that
few
website.
questions, and obviously if the audience want to ask a few questions, just chip in.
Yeah. So, I'm Nigel, this is Patrick, and we're from East Huntsville, just outside Burnham, and we're keen bakers. And we've been baking a few years now. I retrained to become a teacher 8 years ago. I think I started my PGCE, and it's really weird actually because I've got one of my tutors here. Crazy, for a long time ago, when I was at Bridgewater College when I first started out. But it's quite a stressful job teaching. I know people think it's an easy job, Steve Bird, and it's not. So I wanted to have an activity where I could get home and instead of shouting I could take my stress out on something, so dough it was. And then I started baking normal yeasty bread, and the family were like, stop drinking bread, we can't eat all this bread. So I looked at other options and did a bit of research, and I heard a certain chap called Paul Hollywood talking about the wonders of sourdough and how amazing it was and versatile. I thought, well, I'll have a look at it. So I had a look at it and I thought, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I can be bothered with that. But it works really well with my job and people's job. I would recommend you try it, at least try baking it, because the flavour, the texture is fantastic. And you can leave it all day, proving away. You can go off and teach the world to sing or whatever, and then come back and it's there, rising, and then you can cook it, and it's beautiful stuff, and I know my colleagues and friends have been enjoying it the last few weeks, but I've been putting in extra hours. So there's also a bit of research saying that it's pretty good for you. Too much bread is not going to be good for you, but a little bit of something special is okay. With sourdough, I'll talk through the process of what happens, but because it's a long fermenting process, it's meant to be good on your digestive system, so yeah, I'll take that. I was diagnosed with diabetes 2-3 years ago, type 1 diabetes, and there's also a little bit of research into that saying that it could be better. I'm not standing here saying if you've got diabetes this is going to cure it, it's not, but you can enjoy a little bit of nice bread. Shall I shut up for a minute? No, can't. What are you doing, Patrick? What are you kneading? So, Patrick is kneading some sourdough bread that we prepared earlier, and he is my chief kneader. He's the top boy at this, and I like to have a go, but he's a lot better than I am. We're going to make some pizzas. It's really versatile sourdough, Patrick wanted to make some pizzas, so he's going to show you how to do that. I'm a history teacher by trade, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about history of where sourdough came from. And sourdough has been around for thousands of years. It's older than metal, let's go with that. It's been used by different people for a long time, but I think the earliest loaf was found in Switzerland about 3,000 years before Christ. And it was pretty much up until the 19th century, that was how people made bread. And then along came the Industrial Revolution, they wanted to speed things up, bang, that was the end of sourdough pretty much until, I don't know, the 70s, 80s, I think there was a bit of a resurgence. And yeah, certainly again now it's very popular. Let's talk about the process. So you have to start off with sourdough. There's no yeast involved whatsoever. It creates its own yeast by mixing flour and water. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. You have to, for about a week, feed your starter. Now, it's my son. I also have 2 stepsons and my daughter, but my favourite child, you didn't just drop that one. Oh, I fell in tin, that's fine. My favourite child out of them all, yeah, I do have a favourite, is Simon. Simon is the most precious child I have, apart from Patrick. And maybe, I'm going to shut up. This is Simon's sourdough starter. So I've cultivated Simon for about 2 years, feeding him, looking after him, nurturing him. Is that a bit weird? Yeah, it is. It is a little bit weird, okay, I'll accept that. But it's something that is enjoyable, and he starts to smell really nice, bubbly, boozy almost. Should we let Simon smell it? You don't like him, do you? You're just jealous of Simon because he's my favourite. Jealous.
So, Nigel, do you find that by naming it, you look after it better?
Sorry?
Do you find that by naming it, you look after it better?
Oh, of course, yeah. I do look after him, and I'm not as bad as some people. In Sweden, they have sourdough hotels for their starters, so they go on holiday and off they drop Simon, or what would it be in Sweden? Sven. Be Sven. They drop Sven off to the hotel, they can go off and do their holiday, they come back and Sven has been fed and looked after and nurtured and had a bedtime story. I've never read him a bedtime story yet. How's that pizza doing?
Mine was called Bernard.
Bernard?
Yeah.
Nice name.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
Oh, yeah, you have to look after him. Hell, what's yours called?
Fred.
Fred. Fred the Bread. That's a classic.
Good
So,
solid names.
you have to look after yours to start, and please name them, because that's a lot of fun. And I'll mention now that I've got some of Simon's offsprings here. I've got a few, and you could take that away for the mere price of £2 with full instructions of how to look after the offspring of Simon. And yeah, you can take it away, and one day you can have a large kiln jar like myself, full of starter, and then this just sits in the house, and I feed it every few days, or you can put them in the fridge and you'll go to sleep in the fridge, and then for a week or so you won't need any feeding, and then you wake him up and you bring him out and you say, "Wakey, Simon." That's happened.
What do you feed it then?
That's a really good question, Sandy. Thank you very much. It's like we prepped that earlier, but we didn't. You start off, but let's go with the fact that you're all going to take away a little Simon, okay? You're going to take away a little Simon with you today. You're going to add that to a bigger pot, And you're going to then add 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour. Strong flour. I like to, you'll notice in here that there's some seeds in these, and I like to use a bit of rye flour, seeded flour, for the yeast to grab onto. As it's fermenting, it will produce its own wild yeast. So you don't need to add anything else in this process. Yeah, so it's just a case of topping it up with flour and water. You take a bit of him out, and then you top him up, and then he will become all bubbly and gorgeous, and really smelly, really smelly. But I like the smell. And my wife, she doesn't like Simon. I think again it's a bit of jealousy. He smells lovely. It's not quite eau de la Simon. You couldn't use it like that. That wouldn't work. But it's a good smell. It's a good smell. Anywho, what should we do now? How's the kneading doing, Pat? So you get the starter to make the loaf, or to make a baguette, or to make pizza dough. You add 100 grams of the starter to, I forgot the measurements now, 300 grams of flour, 10 grams of sea salt, add 100 into there, and you get that, which is called a sponge, starter sponge. And I leave that, I start that generally about 5:45 in the morning when I get up. Mix it up, then you can leave it all day and then come home, and then you can do the next process. And it needs to be bubbling, you'll see it, it'll come to life, and there'll be signs that there's life there, and it's a pleasing sight. Then when that's been fermenting for at least 6 hours, you need to get it to the kneading stage. You right? Spoon. Is there any spoons around? Don't worry, just... Okay. Spoon would be great. You add 300 grams of flour when this is ready, and then you knead it. Do you want to do some kneading? More kneading? Yeah? You get the scales.
Nigel, can I ask something?
Yes, that's it.
When you leave it on the sponge for the day,
Yeah.
do you have to leave it anywhere in particular, any temperature?
Cooler place. I don't know if I should say where I leave mine. Well, we'll skip on to that. Past that, we'll ignore that. But he goes in a cool place. Toilet. And then the next day it's ready to go. So add 100, tear it off, 100 of that into there, please, young man. Sometimes you could do the starter the night before, you go to bed, wake up in the morning, and then you're at the process we'll be at now, so you're kneading in the morning. That's probably my preferred option. Same results. Is that 100 in there? So now I want 3, actually I've weighed that out, so that's fine, so pour that in there. Thanks very much. That's alright, you can tip it over. Ooh, back the bus up. Okay. So, now you've got to mix all that up. You might get messy pea. Yeah? Good. So while he's doing that, what will happen is it will form a dough like a normal commercial full of chemicals bread does. Really bad for you. Just saying. And then leave that all day as I'm going to work. come back to that, and that is arousing. Can I say that? Probably not. Probably not in a church. No, I just did. It will rise, and it's beautiful. Again, it smells very nice, and then that's ready to go. How you getting on? Do you need a bit of oil? You can add a bit of oil just to loosen it up a bit.
So do you still continue to follow Paul Hollywood's methods?
No. No, I tried Paul Hollywood stuff, but we didn't really get on. So I went...
With someone else?
I did, yeah. I moved on to Hugh Fernley.
Whittinstall.
That's him. And his is excellent. Really easy to use, easy to follow. Shall I talk about Paul Hollywood? Because he knows Simon. Paul Hollywood has met Simon. Paul Hollywood has tasted Simon. And yeah, he said, nice rolls. Nice rolls. Yeah, he tasted it when he was at a show in Bath, and friends of ours went and they wanted some rolls to take, and he tasted them and liked them. So you have the opportunity to have that as well.
Which begs the question, have you ever fancied doing the real bagel?
No. Not a chance. Not a chance. Well, but being a teacher, it's difficult to get time off. Don't get me started on that. We don't have enough holidays, do we, Steve? Yeah, I suppose potentially if it was in the summer holidays, it's something that I could do, but I'm not at that standard yet.
Oh yes.
It's a different. Certain things I'm comfortable with, but yeah, some of the stuff they do on there is I couldn't do a lion's head. You see that? Brilliant. How you getting on? Not too well? Okay.
So do you like baking with that? Yeah? Do you do much at school or college or?
No, I didn't take it as a subject, so.
Patrick's just started his GCSE, so he dropped catering. We'll leave that. But what we could do is show the pizza that's coming out. Do you want to get the pizza out, mate? Oh, it's already out. So, with sourdough, it's not all about bread. It's very versatile. You can do lots of things. You can make sweetbreads with it, with chocolate, all sorts. But one of our favourites is making pizza. Making a nice thin pizza dough, which Patrick's done earlier, and there may be some available to sample later. But yeah, we've got lots of samples here. But yeah, unfortunately, Patrick didn't consider catering to be a proper subject really for GCSE, did you? As a catering teacher walked in. That was good timing. So yeah, we'll have some samples there. When you're cooking it, it's really important when you get to the process where this is ready to go. I use a proving basket just for the last hour and a half. You take it out of the container, you sit it in this Balaton, which is a French proving basket, cover it with some cling film, dust it with some flour first, and it creates some lovely rings, if you can see that. And you can get different sizes, French sticks as well, really tasty. You can have a sample in a while. Yeah, so you stick it in there for about an hour and a half, maybe 3 hours if you want, until it rises again. Then take it out of there onto a hot tray, and if you can get your oven really, really hot as possible. I'm very fortunate to have a Rayburn, which is like an Arga, and that will go up to 250 degrees with the wife going, "You're gonna break it, turn it off." But get it nice and hot, and then whack it in there for about, I tend to do 15 minutes, and I've got a little garden sprayer full of water, and then I just open the door, get some steam going, because the steam creates a lovely crust. If you can get some steam on it, you get really crusty bread. Hollywood says put a tray of water, but I quite like the drama of like, that's just me. So you get nice and steamy, 20 minutes, open the door again, go again, and
So really it's
45 minutes. Yeah, it's quite dramatic. So 45 minutes, you should have a beautiful sourdough loaf all ready. Right. Patrick's just working at the pizza.
So do you think that it's actually all the individual steps of sourdough that put people off? I mean, you may have mentioned this while I was out of the room, but is that what you think puts people off?
I think people may be put off by that it is quite a process, but it's something that you can work around. You know, I'm busy. I was in the Coast Guard for 13 years. I'm a teacher. And I obviously got a family, but I still make time to, this week has been really stressful and manic, and I apologise, family, for that now. But usually it's just a thing that happens when they're in bed, generally, or, I pop out of the lounge and check on dear Simon and make sure he's okay, and then I'll go back and carry on. It's something that you can work around. It is a lot involved, but it's not as bad, it's not as frightening as you think. Give it a go, because I really believe that the flavour and the texture of the bread is something special, and it is something very different to what you're going to buy from the supermarket. There's tailors are in, I think it's College Street Bakery. They very kindly gave me a load of flour today, so I'm about to say, well, if you're not going to try and make this, go there. They sell sourdough bread. I don't know how much it is a loaf, but this will be just £2 with full instructions. In London, the loaves sell for crazy money in that there London town, £10 a shot. I know, £10. You alright? Why didn't you bring it out? Patrick's going to go and get the mozzarella that you forgot. Those of you who were... Yeah, question?
Have you tried a totally wheat-free version last time? No offensive science, but...
I haven't, no. I haven't tried any wheat-free stuff at all, to be honest. But I mixed in the other day with pumpkin. Had a pumpkin that we grew at school, and I roasted it in the oven whole. That works. And we're saying, it's going to blow out, it's going to blow out. It's going to cover the oven. But it didn't. And it was lovely. However, the bread, it didn't really work for me. I was going to enter it into the bake-off and beat everybody and rule the world. But I don't think that's happening. But yeah, it's versatile. It is really versatile. But I haven't tried any wheat-free.
So what could you use for sourdough?
All loads of stuff. Chocolate, bananas. You could try different herbs, rosemary. There's loads of opportunities for you to experiment with it. And I've done a pumpkin seed for the bake-off today. I've entered that with some mixed seed loaf. But you can add all sorts. You really can. There's lots of forums, and it's scary what people are doing. How brilliant their ideas are, and there's lots of inspiration if you go on Facebook. The sourdough forums there is massive in America. and all over the world, as I found out. So you can have a look at there, and there's loads of different ideas what you can do. Patrick likes his pizza cheesy. Yeah. Never. Simon has never seen a bread maker, and that. I don't talk about that. I don't know. It would feel like I was cheating. It really would. Not him, but it would. I don't like. I'm quite a traditionalist. However, if there is anybody here from KitchenAid or Kenwood, I'll give you a machine to go if you want to give me one. But I'm quite happy to just do it by hand, and it's probably the most exercise I get, to be fair.
Do you actually enjoy the process?
Yeah, and
that's. I obviously with Bernard.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I love making bread, yeast and sourdough often and pans, but it's something in the process of making.
It's therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. You've had a bad day at the office. You come home, you want to make some bread, and when I smoked heavily, I'd get home and have a cigarette. But now I just let's get some dough and give it a good bashing, and feel a lot better after that. It's therapeutic. So that was one of the main reasons that I started using it, was to de-stress after work. How are we doing?
You're fine.
Yeah.
No problem. You've got about up to 10 minutes. Really.
Okay.
So we started a bit later. So.
All right. Well, I think I'm pretty much done. I don't know much about the sciencey bit of how it works, how the process works of mixing the yeast, the wild yeast. But I know that it's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for your digestive system. Slow fermenting will improve the flavour as well.
So where next then, Nigel? It's Burnham and the world, is it?
Wow. Don't know really. We're doing some cooking at school. I suppose that will be the next avenue. But I don't know really. It's good fun. I enjoy it, and I'm passionate about decent real bread. The stuff you get in supermarkets, I don't want to stand here and preach of all places, but it's not very good. It's full of stuff that we don't know. Here you can see the basic ingredients: bread, water, bang, you've got it. Bit of salt, maybe a bit of olive oil, and then you can add in any ingredients that you know where it's come from, where it's been. Beautiful.
Should we have some samples?
Shall we have some samples? So what I've done is I've got just a normal sourdough loaf. I've got a baguette mixed in there as well, and there's also some olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I was at Novella last night and they had that, and I thought, yeah, that would work. Yeah, little starter. So yeah, if you're looking for somewhere nice to eat Italian food, Novella in Abingdon Street, wonderful. They didn't give me any money off the bill either for that. There's also some rosemary and garlic infused oil, which if you want to come and taste the sourdough with and without, feel free.
Should we get pizza cut up into smaller pieces?
Let's do that as well.
And,
Smaller pieces, mate? Hello. Where did I get this basket from? You can get them online, Amazon do it. Wells. I've got it in Wells. There's a kitchen shop in Wells by the cathedral. But yeah, they're pretty much all over the shop, all sizes. And one thing I haven't talked about, which on the baguettes is really important, but it's also on the loaves, is the slashings. And that helps with obviously the design of the loaf. All right. Lidl's flour. They're talking about that, and they were online, and people were saying how good it was, and people in America are very jealous. Yeah, Hell uses it. Yeah, no, it's, I don't tend to stick to one. I get good results, not showing off from whatever flour. But tailors have just given me a massive sack of flour, so I'll be using that for a while. Yeah, so if you want to come and help yourselves, if you want to part with £2 for a little starter, comes with full instructions. You can almost have the love of Simon, a little bit of it.
Just before everyone obviously dashes forward for this fantastic looking pizza and bread, can we give Nigel and Pat a fantastic applause? Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming.